Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lazy Korfa Live, Lazy Korfa 2.0. So Tunmise Usikalu, author of Memoirs of a Lazy Korfa, which is my book. We spoke about this in detail in my previous live. So I've linked to it so if you go to my bio, there's a link to it, the YouTube video with details about the background, the journey to publishing the book, 16-year journey to publishing the book. And so we just want to encourage you today that there's nothing impossible, for you to do. It doesn't matter how long it's been, doesn't matter how small it is or how big it is, whatever it is you want to do, you can just go and do it. It doesn't matter how long it's been that you've held that dream. But today, 2020, what a year. Yinka and I just thought we would jump on live and we will talk to you about just the highlights. Obviously, there's so much that's happened in this year, and so we can't talk about everything, but we'll just give some highlights and then take some questions if you've got any. But just to encourage you, really. Oh, apologies, you might hear my daughter screaming in the background. But just to encourage everyone that there's nothing impossible. So Yinka's going to be hosting us as he did last time, and so I'm going to hand over to him.
Thank you very much. I think it's one of the things you shouldn't do is apologize for your daughter in the background. I tell you why, it's a really good starting point, because it shows how you've managed to achieve what you've achieved, even as a mother, even as a student, even with all our busy lives, even in COVID, and you can still do this. And I think that's now, for anybody who doesn't know, my name is Yinka. You can get me online as Yinka Mode, MODE. My kind of semi-professional background is in media, marketing, and digital. But one of the reasons why I'm so excited about doing this is, apart from the fact that Tunmise is my sister, is it's the universal story of achievement, regardless. I think, Tunmise, your story, and you'll agree with this, your story is one of life happening to us in the way that it happens to everyone. You parked this dream many years afterwards. For whatever reason, you decided, you know what, I'm going to follow this dream through. I'm going to deliver this dream. And you managed to do that despite life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is a story. And one of the things we're really keen to do with this live is to encourage everyone, like Tunmise says. But more importantly, if you've got any questions, any specific questions, stick them in chat. Tunmise will be monitoring, and then we will answer all of them. Yep. As we go through. We're only here for like half an hour, so we've already spent 5 minutes. So get the questions in quick. Don't warm up and think, okay, now I have a question. If you have a question, just stick it in chat so we can pick it up. Oh, I was going to ask because of the resemblance. Yes.
My big brother, Nandi.
Yes, my baby sister. I'm the first, she's the last, so same mum, same dad. But Tunmise, please give me the web address, just so people can go check out the blog.
So that's lazykorfa.com. So it's exactly my my profile handle thingy on Instagram.
LAZYKORFA.com/.
Well, no, .com, because we've made it easier for people, so there are buttons on
fantastic.
the for you to click on.
Fantastic.
So, yes, I'm going to talk, in a bit of detail on some of the months, but sort of gloss over some of the other months. And I've done a blog post expatiating on some of that, a bit more. So feel free to go on lazykorfa.com once we're done and click on 2020 year in review, and you go to my blog post that sort of talk in more detail about things that I'm sort of glossing over here.
Excellent.
Yes, I've done that.
Well, good evening. Welcome. It's the 23rd of December 2020. We're looking at the year in review, specifically from Tunmise's point of view as an author, somebody who picked up a dream. How many years? 16?
16 years.
16 years after she dropped it. And if you don't take anything away from this live, take that away. It's never too late for you to pick up your dream. Now, we're going to be looking at the 12 months in review. Welcome along if you're listening to this on replay or watching it on replay. All of the information you need is at lazykorfa.com, LAZYKORFA. So, Tunmise, where do I start? Do I start January or work my way through all the months?
Let's preface this with the fact that
Okay.
this time last year in December, I was getting used to being a mom of two. I had a baby.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I had just pivoted from a 10-year career in academia to go to public service, work in the public sector. So
it was this time last year, wasn't it?
Yes. So publishing this book was not on my radar at all. 12 months ago, it was not even on my radar. And we're here now, 12 months later, it's been published, it's doing fairly well, and it's been amazing. The reaction, the reviews, everything has been fantastic. So yeah, just to let you know, you can do this.
It's a good place to start. It's a really good place to start. So what was the trigger between December 2019 and January 2020?
Yinka, we've talked about this in Lazy Korfa Live, the first edition. Again, I've linked to it in my bio, so you can watch the full episode of our last, live that we did together. But the trigger for me, like I was saying last time, was it became personal. It was like, come on, Tunmise, you do not start something and not finish it. You do not start something and then just sit on it and let it gather dust, especially because a lot of people who had read the book, my friends, like a few people, not a lot.
Well, the rest, the unpublished book,
and they thought it was really good. They thought so many people would gain from it. They thought it would be really a good read for a lot of people, especially people who had done NYSC, people who hadn't done NYSC but needed that sort of, this is what you can look forward to. And if you don't know what NYSC is, it's this program you do in Nigeria to serve the nation once as a fresh graduate. So once you've graduated, then you have to serve the country for 1 year. So that's it.
So from that, dive into January.
So in January, I was reading a book by Basi P, who is a Nigerian author. She's Nigerian-American. Namdi's friend. Thanks, Namdi. Namdi is on the live, and I knew of her through Namdi, I think, or the other way around. Anyway, so I was reading a book by her, and in the very first few pages of the book, she put a quote there, and it was like, I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it was sort of saying, you needed to launch in and then ask questions later. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, you see. So it was
I can relate to that.
Yeah, it was my perfectionist tendencies that meant that I didn't want to do it. And for me, in January, it was about done over perfect. And I talk about this in great detail in the last live. So do watch back, done over perfect, progress over perfection. We're not looking for things that are perfect anymore. Publish this book. And then, Merry Christmas, everyone. I've got a Christmas jumper. Progress over perfection, that sort of thing. So that was January. It was just do it, just do it and forget about wanting it to be perfect and everything to be great and all of that. So, so that was January.
So what's in your state? What's your state of mind here? Because you are doing something you've never done before. You have no idea how it's going to turn out. Mm-hmm. You've decided to take the plunge. You're done over perfect. So in one sentence, what are you thinking at this stage? Are you thinking, let me just get on with it, Jerry? Or are you thinking, I'm actually just gonna? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, let me just get on with this and then face whatever. I think it was just the fear of how imperfect I thought it was, and therefore I thought that was how it would be received.
Right.
And so I was like, let's not do this and put ourselves out there and make a mockery of myself. It was just never perfect. Anytime I read it, I found something else that I thought needed. I read it again, I found something else that needed doing. So it's just
So you did it anyway.
I did it.
Came into February.
In February, it got published. So I contacted the guy who was helping me to publish it. And I was like, let's do this thing. I don't even want a big launch. I'm not interested in any of this thing. Let's just do this. Slide it on Amazon and just get this over and done with. So at least I know it's published. And we did that. It was published in February.
How did it feel?
My friend was doing a podcast as well. Again, I've linked to it. I'm talking about it on the blog post, lazykorfa.com. Click on 2020 year in review and you'll hear about February. And in that blog post, in that podcast, it was talking about dreaming small.
Right.
So dreaming small is about making things, the smallest possible task, the smallest possible it can be, and then doing that thing.
Which ties in very nicely into done is better than perfect. Just start it. Just do it.
Progress over perfection.
Nice. And
So that's
remind me,
the
who's the podcast?
So
The,
her name is Liz Bohannon, but
that's
it
it.
was,
Yeah,
yeah, Liz Bohannon is the lady who did the podcast with Craig Rochelle, I think. Anyway,
yeah. So
so,
you published in January. You're talking about February.
yeah, it was
What's
published
happening
in
now?
February.
Yeah. So what's
Oh,
happening now?
it was just on Amazon. Nothing really happening. I hadn't told anyone that I had a book out. But then in March, I brought you on because I thought, look, hang on, my brother is here. My brother has got all of these skills. He's amazing at all of these fantastic skills. Let me talk to him and see what he thinks about the things, the ideas I have, my book, and all of that. So then I had that conversation with you. I remember I met you at work. We went to Nando's and we had this conversation about.
Oh my goodness, I forgot. Oh yes.
We had lunch together, remember?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we went to Nando's and we had this whole conversation, and you encouraged me to do like an online launch, like a soft launch, just do something. And we set the date for 1st of April. We're going to tell people about it. It didn't have to be a big deal. And that was my comfort zone. I needed to get comfortable there. It didn't have to be a big deal or anything. Let's just do it. And so this was in March. And sometimes, and for me, that the thing about March was you asking me those hard questions, but asking me those difficult questions, challenging me and all that. Kind of
A lot of people
me.
think I'm very nice and soft and easy, but you can.
I know you're not. So for me, you asking me those questions and bringing you on board helped me to realize that, okay, what is the focus? What exactly are you trying to achieve by doing this? What do you want out of this year? What do you want out of publishing this book? And it's good to have that sort of challenge because it brings your vision sharply into focus.
Yeah.
And that was helpful for me when things got really difficult and when things got a bit tricky, throughout the year. I was like, what is, the
Do you know why I did that? Do you know why I did that? Because what tends to happen is we all have dreams, and I've been down this road before. We all have dreams, and generally what tends to happen is the dreams are really big and they are abstract. And you what you do is you skip to the end goal of the dream from the beginning, and it's really in the middle bits where the work is, and having those kind of hard, as you know, I ask you hard questions like, okay, what are you doing with this? Why are we doing this live? What's the point of doing this live?
Notes. Do you remember all our post-it notes putting on the wall and writing things down? And it was amazing to be able to do that with you and Muiwa, my husband, and just, bring the vision sharply into focus. So April comes along, 1st of April, we'll do this soft launch. I start to tell people I've got a book out. It's been published 6 weeks by now, published 6 weeks.
Had you sold anything, by the way, by then?
You start to tell people about it.
No, had you sold any books by then?
No, because I hadn't told anyone I had a book.
Exactly.
So then I started to sell books, people were buying, and then the reviews started coming in because I was harassing everyone. Please do a review when you've read it, because of course people will buy the book and send me a picture and I'll be like, oh, please do a review so they started reviewing. I was like, huh? The reviews are really very good and everything.
I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there because anybody listening to this right now will get benefit from the answer you're about to give me. How did you go from being this quiet, subdued, very introverted person to publishing a book? But most importantly, and this is my question, how did you go to hassling people for reviews? Because reviews are really important to get the traction. What clicked in your head?
What clicked in your head? I don't even know, but I think because I had crossed that first hurdle of actually publishing the book, and then I thought, oh, I've got a book out now. Oh, okay. Shall we harass a few people to buy the book? Oh, they bought the book. Shall we harass them and find out what they think about the book? So I think it was the fact that because the dream small bit I was talking about, there were small steps I was taking. I wasn't trying to do anything grand.
Exactly.
So once I conquered that, I was like, okay, I can do that. Maybe I can do the next thing. Maybe I can do the next one. Maybe I can push for a little bit more. So I think that's what it was. It was gradual. I wasn't trying to do anything fantastic.
And I think the other lesson everybody can learn here is you look at things once you've broken down the process. everything else becomes easier. Because rather than have that abstract dream that's got 15 million different moving parts, you can look at one moving part and you can go, this is the foundation. Once you got the foundation locked, you can then move on to the next thing, and they become easier. As you found, they become easier.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. So this is April, and for me, the learning point for April was this amazing thing. A friend of mine who I hadn't really been in touch with, she didn't know anything about the book, found out about the book when I started talking about it, and she offered to send me some money to buy some books for some people that she didn't know. You know,
wow.
So she gave me money, and it meant she actually gave me cash, and that meant that I could then use that to do the early giveaways I did, to make a bit more noise about the book. We're doing a giveaway, you know, and all of that. And she gave me that money. And I didn't have a budget for giveaways at the time, but because she gave me that money, I was able to do giveaways early on.
Did you find the giveaways helped?
Yes, because some of the people that follow me today are very interactive and all and talk about my book. They are the people who won books at the time.
Right.
Lola was one of the people who ended up doing a blog post for me to talk about NYC and her own experience of it. So it was really helpful. And for me, the learning for April is that help comes from unexpected places. You know, the support that you need will come from unexpected places. And that's what I found happened for me in April.
Talk about me.
Yeah, moving on to May. So in May, I thought, oh, like I was saying, success. Oh, let's do this. I didn't plan to have books available in Nigeria, but we thought, oh, let's just do this now. Let's get printed. Let's rock and roll.
Tell me about the confidence, because there's a journey of confidence here. Tell me about the confidence you get from the small successes. From January to April, it's building your confidence.
Yeah. It's
how do you get that confidence?
I feel like it's sort of because I think this is me, because I'm not trying to do anything fantastic.
Right.
I'm not competing against anyone. I'm not trying to break any. Oh, having said that, I was #1 Amazon bestseller for like one day.
Celebrate the wins.
Yes, we take the wins wherever we find them, you know. So it was an obscure category, but yeah, I've got that on my. If you go to my profile, you'll see the Amazon bestseller.
Yes.
Anyway, so, but it was that I wasn't trying to do anything fantastic. I wasn't trying to break any records or anything. I just wanted to see how far I could push myself.
Nice.
And the more I was pushing myself, the more I wanted to push myself a bit more.
Tell me about me.
Pardon?
Tell me about me.
So May, I was able to get the printer. It didn't work out with the first printer, so I had books that I couldn't.
In Nigeria.
Yes, in Nigeria. I couldn't really sell, but that's fine. Muiwa, my beautiful husband, gave me money and we printed from another printer. I got links from people that I didn't even know, you know?
Right, hold on. Don't gloss over the disappointment, because what we don't want this live and this series of lives to be is for people not to realize that there are challenges. Mm-hmm. So tell me how you navigated through the disappointment first time around of not being able to make that connection in Nigeria.
So
how did you pick yourself up? Because I imagine it must have been disappointing.
It was disappointing because I had spent my hard-earned cash to print the books. And then what even happened was it got to one of the bookshops and the lady said, oh, Tunmise, no. She was like, it's not very good quality. You know, she said there's textbook quality and there's paperback quality. I think they printed for you like school textbook quality. You know, do you understand? Like, you know, it just didn't look right. And she said she can sell it. It's fine, but it's just not very good for your brand. And she then linked me with a print. She's also a publisher. She then linked me with a printer and said, this is a person I use for the books that I publish. Do you want to talk to him? And she told me what to do. And she also linked me with other bookshops.
So how are you feeling and how do you cope? How do you pick yourself up? I think that's the main thing. When somebody tells you this quality isn't good enough, you've lost the money, where do you find the strength?
For me, at the time when I spoke with Moima, it was like, okay, it's fine. We would use those books as review copies. So we kind of found
there you go.
For them. You know, we found another use, and they were our giveaway copies as well.
If life gives you lemons, make champagne lemonade.
Exactly. So we thought, oh, we didn't even have review copies anyway. So actually, we'll just use those books like review copies. So that's what we did.
Nice, nice.
Review copies are giveaway copies, So that's what we were using for it. And
Do you know what? I didn't even know that.
yeah, no, you didn't. And yeah, we purposed exactly. So my friend, I'm saying my friend, this bookshop lady who's just amazing. She also linked me with other bookshops in Nigeria and all that. So for me, it was just realizing, I think for me, the takeaway from May was that actually, I didn't want to rest on my laurels and say, oh, I've now published a book, it's getting good reviews on Amazon, let's just stay there. It was about building on the successes. So that's what May was. In June, we went up, we got the bookshop, so we reprinted and distributed into the bookshops. And distance is no longer a barrier. In June, the things that you feel are barriers are no longer barriers. It might not be a revelation to the rest of you, but it was certainly a revelation that I could be in the UK and be making phone calls, be DMing bookshops and saying, do you want to sell my books? This is what it's for, what are your terms and all of that. And I was able to do that and get my books into 9 bookshops across Nigeria.
In Nigeria. Wow.
Yeah. Just from being in the UK and making calls and DMing people. So for me in June, it was about distance no longer being a barrier. And for you out there, there's the things that we feel are barriers in our minds. They don't have to be barriers anymore. They don't have to be. We can, the ways and means around these things. Okay.
So we're halfway through the year. Sorry to interrupt you, but we're halfway through the year. The takeaways here are: dream small, even though you're dreaming big. Break your dreams into small tasks and just build on that. And I promise you, I've worked and I've consulted with many people on this. What you will find is the small victories give you bigger confidence. So when you get one thing, it works well. Oh yeah, great. On to the next thing. That works well. And once you get the foundation right, it's absolutely fine. Welcome along. I've seen a few people have joined. This is Lazy Korfa Live with me. My name is Yinka. Speaking to my sister, my father, mother, sister. So people have just joined. Who's just joined?
Mommy.
Oh, hello, Mommy. Oh, my mum's there. Okay, hello, Mum. Lazykorfa.com, LAZYKORFA.com for all of the information. We're basically just going through 2020 and Tunmise is sharing her journey. Essentially, why we do these lives is to encourage people. If you've got a dream that you started and you abandoned a year ago, it's not too late. 2 years ago, 5 years ago, it's not too late. Tunmise abandoned her. Well, life happened. Exactly. Life happened 16 years ago, and she picked it up 16 years later, which is why we're doing this now. So it's just a way of encouraging you. If you have any questions, stick them in chat. We'll pick them up later. Go on to July.
So in July, I think you had the idea. I can't remember. Somebody had the idea to do like videos of other people. So just generate some content, do videos of other people saying what they liked about NYC, what they didn't like about NYC. So we got Timmy, a friend of mine, to help us, and I'll come to Timmy later, to get Timmy to get some friends, because of course I don't really know that many people who've just done NYC in Nigeria, but Timmy had just done her NYC. So it was like, okay, Timmy, do you know anybody? And then Timmy sent me these raw videos, and I was like, oops, what do I do with these? But then I had to learn the most basic things. I had to learn how to do video editing myself, because I didn't have any budget to throw at anything. So I had to learn to do it. And for me, the takeaway in July is you have to learn those basic things. There's some basic things that, and there are lots of things that you can do these days, that you can do very easily. You can learn YouTube videos and all that. So it was just talking to Yinka. How do I do
So what did you use in the end for editing videos?
Oh, I don't remember. Something on the laptop. You were the one that told me.
Yeah, it's Windows Photos.
What was it?
Yeah, so the reason why this is important is because, again, like Tunmise is saying, in the 21st century that we live, you can do quite literally anything you want, and there's almost going to be a free, a cheap, and an expensive way of doing it. A lot of these things are easy to do. They are easy to learn. I can't remember if it was me that came up with the video idea, but what I really loved about what you did was you basically just took it and you learned video editing. And then before I knew it, on my timeline, I just saw all of these Lazy Korfa videos. It was incredible. I was like, yeah, man, go on.
Thank you. So fast forward to August. Well, not fast forward. Go on. And, I'm really glossing over a lot of things here. A lot happened, but we couldn't talk about everything. So we literally just a few highlights here and there. But in August, Tammy Amy Williams had done some video reviews for me earlier to talk about the book and all of that. And so then we now had an idea. I'd always wanted to do an audiobook, to be honest. So I'd always thought, oh, if I...
And I love the idea of an audiobook.
An audiobook, yes. So then I thought, let's just do like some samplers, some taste and see what people think about it. So Yinka was going to produce it, and he is still producing the full thing for us when we get around to doing it. Timmy, I then offered Timmy, I said, Timmy, would you like to read? And Timmy is a very creative person, and she did, I think, theatre arts or something in Ilag. And we're like, Timmy, would you like to read it for us? And then we gave it to her, and she came back with this. Yinka and I were like, what? She's amazing. And you can see that, again, if you go to lazykorfa.com/taster, that's where all the audio experience videos are. And I did those audiograms as well. So,
it was incredible. It really was incredible. And I think, again,
incredible. And for us, for me, the learning in August is that you don't be so precious about things. Sometimes authors want to do their audiobooks, and it's good to do that sometimes. But if there are other people who are more talented, have greater capacity, are able to do these things over you, then just give it to them. Delegate, let them, have it, that sort of thing. And so that's the learning for August. Don't be too precious about things and just.
I think for what I loved about August and what I loved about the whole audiobook experience was Timmy. A lot of what we ended up doing was just down to how Timmy brought the character to life. So it made my job as an audio editor, it made it so easy because the way she delivered it, I could hear everything in my head. So producing it, creating it, it was easy because we already had a fantastic foundation. Tell me about September.
So September was the month where so I had sent a few of my review copies of the book out to a few reviewers, mostly Instagram reviewers, but also sent some to a big reviewer in the UK. I'm not going to name them, but I sent it to them in the UK, and I sent it to them in June. But I hadn't heard from them. But you see, I don't know where I got this sort of peace from. I was like, there's no need to be harassing anybody. It's okay. It just means that we have a review coming. They haven't said no. They haven't said, no, we can't do this for you. It just means that in future, there's a review out there that I'm still waiting for, which is fine, But I made myself visible. Every time they posted, I turned on notifications for them. So every time they posted, I would comment, I would like, I would, so I didn't ever, once in a while, I think I asked, once or twice, I asked them, hi, let me know when you get round to it. I'd really love to hear what you think about my book. Let me know when you get round to it, but no pressure, but I would like them. No, I wasn't stalking them, but I would like them to and all of that. But for me, when they finally got round to doing the review in September, I had sent it to them in June. They said normally they were thinking, oh, we'll just do like a short Instagram post for her, just put it on Instagram and that would be it. But the guy said that, he loved reading it so much. He was like, this has to be a full website review. And so he did a full website review for me. They're not a small reviewing people. They work with publishers and things like that, So it was just really amazing to get that from them. And I think one day he told me that he read it like in a couple of hours and he really loved it. And then 2 days later, he said, oh my gosh, I'm reading your book again when I should be reviewing other people's books. He said I picked up your book a second time to read it, And so
let me tell you. Hold on. Okay, finish that, and I'll tell you. I'll say what I was going to say. But go on for you. What
I was going to say is, I know this is a bit controversial, but good things do come to those who wait.
It's really funny because I was just going to add to that. I can tell you what it's like from a publisher's perspective. Yeah, publishers are busy. Publishers are really busy, and a lot of the time when we're publishing content or arranging to publish content, you have a schedule, And what you do is you fit things into that schedule. And what tends to happen is a lot of content creators, whether you're an author or you're an artist or you're a designer or you're a management company and you want this platform to push your product, it's a very, very fine line between hassling me to come back to you to give you this review or publish this thing. It's a very fine line, and sometimes being patient like you were, it pays off, because what could have happened on the publisher's side is they could have said, oh my goodness, this person again, all right, I'll do my Twitter thing to say this thing is here, it's the 320 characters in Twitter, done. Or like in your case, they have the mind space to read it, digest it, and then hopefully they enjoy it like they did, and then you actually get more than you expected out of it. It's a very, 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 that thing about patience, especially if they're a larger platform, it's difficult. It's a difficult balance, because on the one hand, you don't want to be too patient because they might forget you. Yeah. So doing what you did there, just to kind of make yourself visible without being pushy, exactly, is definitely the way to do it. Right, go on.
Thank you. So this is September, and then we're in October. And October was when you had been saying, you've been saying to me for a very long time, do a live, do an IG live, do an IG live. And I'm glossing over the fact that with the people that I did review, it then had a knock-on effect, and I ended up doing something else with them. Anyway, that aside, but you've been saying to me, do a live, let's talk about your book, it's an amazing journey. You were so like can you not see what I'm saying about your book and all of that? And you didn't, did you? No. So come October, I was like, yes, let's do this. And then we did the live, and it was just about trying something new, stepping out of your comfort zone. Like I said, all along, I've been wanting to just stay where I was comfortable. Let's just do what I'm comfortable. Let's just stay where I'm comfortable. But in October, when we decided to do the live, I was like, let's, okay, yeah, we're private people, blah, blah, blah. We're not very comfortable with this sort of thing, blah, blah. But let's just do it, because it's that, there's a story to tell. And that story is more than enough, so let's just do it. So for October, it was about stepping out of your comfort zone. And how have you found it now that you've done a couple of these? Yeah, it's been okay. But you see the benefit, though, don't you? Yes, I do. I absolutely see the benefit, because I know that I get really excited when I talk about the book. It's really, so I definitely see the benefit of it. So roll on to November. Okay, so November comes around, and I was like, oh, how do I generate more content for my blog posts, for my blog and the posts and all that? And so I follow the hashtag NYC, because people always, post things and say NYC. And then I saw a guy, and he posted quite a bit about it with hashtag NYC. So then I DM'd a few people, like I want to do these days. We're like, do you want to do a blog post about your camp experience? I saw that he was actually currently in camp. Do you want to do a blog post about your camp experience on my website? These are some examples of previous posts and all of that. And I was like, oh, sure, yeah, definitely, I'll do it, And then I came back a few days later, and he still hadn't done anything. He said, I'm busy and all that. And then I said to him, I think it was Muiwa that suggested, or somebody suggested, I can't remember now, why don't you ask him to do voice note? Like, voice note? So I was like, would you do voice notes for me, and I'll transcribe, I'll send it back to you, and you can remove or add or whatever you wanted to do with it, and then we'll post it that way. And then he was like, sure, yeah. And then he did voice notes, and we posted it, and I sent it back to him, and he said, yeah, happy with it, and I posted it, and that's how we got the blog post. So there's always a way. So the takeaway for me in November is that there is always a way. If you really want something that badly, there's a way, So that. And don't be afraid to add to that. Don't be afraid to ask the same question in a different way. Yeah. Because when the guy said no, he could have gone, oh yeah, thank you for trying. Yeah. Well, there you go. So this is kind of like our private sessions that we're doing publicly now. Well, in December, what happened in December? In December, I just thought, oh, it's okay to not be firing on all cylinders all the time. I'm going to take a rest. I'm going to relax and recuperate. And it's fine if I'm not constantly online interacting with people, constantly posting. I don't constantly post anyway, but, it was just, it's okay to take a bit of a break. you know. So that's December for me. Just, you know, you can just chill.
I think that's important, especially in this day of social media where it seems like
Yeah.
everybody is on 24 hours a day.
Yes,
There's that subtle
absolutely.
psychological pressure. You're almost
Mm.
like if you're not on, if you're
FOMO.
not public, exactly.
FOMO.
It's that fear of missing out, isn't it? That
Yeah.
if you're not on, if you're not publishing something, people will forget. But you have to almost A, make time for yourself, and B, trust in the products that you have anyway,
Yeah.
that it's that good. And of course you need to rest anyway, you need to
Mhm.
recharge, because that's how
Yeah.
you get new ideas. Right, so any questions in chat right now?
I haven't seen any questions, but that's fine.
No questions so far?
No, no questions, but
Oh,
that's
that,
okay.
yeah,
I
exactly.
I wanted to say
If you're listening
overall,
to this, hold on, sorry. If you're listening to this on playback or on repeat, again, either wherever you're listening to this on the YouTube channel, which is Lazy Korfa, or on the website or wherever it's embedded, there will be some kind of chat function there. You can always leave it there, and of course, here on Instagram as well. Sorry, you were going to say.
yes, so I was going to say, so that's for us January to December, a bit of a breeze. And don't forget on lazykorfa.com on the homepage, you can click on 2020 year review, and I talk in a lot more detail about some of these things. But for overall, for me, this year has taught me that my story is enough. And I think it was that perfectionist thing. You know, some people just have some really grand stories to tell and all that. And for me, the book, Memoirs of a Lazy Korfa, it's not really about it's not really about NYC camp. I mean, it is, but it's more than that for me. It's much more than
Yeah.
that for me. It's not really NYC camp and NYC experience. You know, it's not really. It's about my journey there. It's about how long it took, how it, you know, life got in the way, but I just kept persevering and I was resilient enough to just carry on and get the book published, and it is doing quite well.
All right.
So
I'm
that's
going to
it.
ask.
But the quote that I wanted to say sort of wraps up the whole year is this
Nice.
one about God, us raising the sail and God sending the wind. Because
Yes.
I'm a person of faith, I'm a Christian. So obviously in all of this, my faith was like very strong right through, and God for me, the God factor. And so it was, I could just see how I did something, I stepped out and God just sort of that wind beneath your wing type thing, you know, and, you know, just you stepping out and then God just, and that little thing that you do just sort of ripples. And I know it's not just by chance or coincidence or whatever, you know. So yeah, so that sort of sums it up for me. We raise the sail and God sends the wind.
I think that's it. And speaking about the action of raising the sail, it's like if you look in scripture, there are very, very few places where people actually haven't taken a first step for God to then honor the other steps. You see, if Moses didn't strike his rod, there won't be any sea to be parted. But he had to do the striking. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's what it
absolutely.
is. Okay, so last questions from me because, oh my goodness, we're like 10 minutes over. But last few questions from me. Probably the last question.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when we finish the question, don't forget you've got the premium giveaway, which is probably what you're waving there. Like, yes. So somebody is going to win the giveaway, and you say exactly how.
Yeah.
But talk to me about the Tunmise in January. What would the Tunmise in January say to the Tunmise in December? And what would the Tunmise in December say to the Tunmise of 16 years ago?
Tunmise in January would say to Tunmise in December, it's okay. It's fine. I feel like the Tunmise in January would say to Tunmise in December, whatever happens, it's fine. You got the book out. You know, you've done it. So it doesn't matter how
Wow.
well it does. It doesn't matter how well it doesn't do. It doesn't matter what the reviews are like. It doesn't matter. You've got the book out. You've done it. And that for me
You've
in
ticked
January
that
was the
box.
most
That box is
important thing.
ticked.
Absolutely. It was the most important thing. So definitely. The other thing is, so you said December, the Tunisia in December, the Tunisia in January.
Yeah, and then the December Tumiche talking
Yeah,
to the Tumiche from 16 years ago.
from 16 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we did it. I think it will be, we did it. I think that's what it'll be. We got there in the end. You know?
And there will be legitimate reasons why life got in the way. And I imagine, I don't know, I haven't really asked you this directly, but I imagine there will be, we sometimes put obstacles in our own way because we don't have the confidence, or we feel we don't have the resources or whatever. So when the Tunmise of 16 years ago started to make those excuses, what is December Tunmise going to say?
Ooh. December Tunmise would say, my friend, just do it. I think, I think it would just do it, quit making excuses, because I know it's easy for life to get in the way and all that, but I think there comes a time where you sort of have to kick yourself up the backside a little bit, I'm saying,
yeah,
let's just get going.
All right, it's a very good place to wrap this up. Thank you to everybody who's listening. What is this giveaway that people are like, okay, I want to get this premium edition of Lazy Korfa? What have you got on offer, and how can people get this?
So I have got a premium edition of Memoirs of a Lazy Korfa to give away. Okay, so it's a signed copy of the book, an autographed copy of the book. You get a choice of journals. There are lots of different versions of the journal, and this is for sale as well, £12.99. And so I wanted to say, if you want a copy of the book, I am going to ask Yinka to choose a number between 1 and, I'm going to look at the number of the people on the live right now.
Okay, good.
Between 1 and, so we've got 11 people on the live right this minute. So Yinka, choose a number between 1 and 11.
9. I don't know why 9 just popped into my head, but 9 popped into my head.
Okay, so number 9 is... So number 9 is a person who literally just wrote on the live. That's Terry 2000. Is that your friend?
Oh, I think I know who that is. That's probably Terrence. I can't see. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's Terry 2000. He's written Episcopal Ogayenka.
Yes, it is Terrence.
So, Terry, I'm going to send you a message. Congratulations, you've won a copy of my book and a journal of your choice. I'm going to send you a message. Oh, Terrence, okay. So I'm going to send you a copy of my book, and then, and it will be signed and all of that. So to Terrence, and I would DM you. I'll DM you, and then you can get a copy of the book. Congratulations, it's Terrence. Oh,
yes,
okay,
congratulations, cool. Terrence. And just to let you know,
Hot Porridge Massive.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll send a message. now they said inside job.
Don't forget, you can get these. It's going to be 2021 in a few days' time. It's a good gift idea to send.
You're welcome, Karen.
Happy New Year to somebody. Yeah. You can get the book on its own. There's a premium edition. So whatever your price point is, however much you want to spend on yourself or spend on somebody, and you've heard the story behind this as well. Buy the book, send them the book, send them a link to this live. They can get the story behind it, etc., etc. And with that, Tunmise, anything else before we sign off?
No, it's just to say thank you very much again for everyone who's been with us for 46 minutes and 9 seconds. And yeah, we talk too much. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. Yeah, I'll DM you now.
So for everybody listening right now, would you be interested in another live? So let's wrap up the thing now with chat. So just go into the chat. I can't see the chat, so Tunmise can see it. Are you interested in another live? And if you are, would you want us to focus on anything in particular? Let us know as we come into the last few seconds. And maybe if we get enough feedback on that, maybe we can do one in 2021.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do it. Oh, great. Thank you so much, Yinka. You're just amazing. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, then.
I'm available for consultancy, and if you want discounted rates, take me to Nando's, and lots of things for a conversation over Nando's.
Oh, so I'm getting yes, yes. So definitely yes. Great. So we'll be back. We'll be back in 2021. Definitely.
Excellent.
Okay then. Bye
Take care.
everyone.
Bye,
Love
everyone.
you. Bye.